The impact of violent games on teenagers' minds and behavior. Hello, my friend. Welcome to the Storytime English channel. Today's video is all about the dangers of teenagers and mobile phone games. Make sure to watch until the very end to see the full story and understand the risks. If you enjoy content like this and want to stay informed, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our community. With the rapid development of modern technology, mobile phones have become an essential part of everyone's life. Teenagers, in particular, use their phones for learning, entertainment, and communication with friends. However, along with these benefits, negative influences have also emerged. Some young people are being exposed to violent games, inappropriate content, and disturbing media, which can gradually affect their thoughts and behavior. That is why parents need to be aware of how their children are using their phones, what kind of content they are interested in, and what they are learning from it. Technology itself is not the enemy, but if it is not used responsibly, it can cause serious harm to a young person's mind and character. Real-life educational example. On October 6, a serious incident involving a teenager highlighted the importance of understanding media influence on young minds. This teenager had been spending most of his time playing violent games and watching aggressive movies online. Without proper guidance from parents or teachers, he gradually began to blur the line between fiction and reality, thinking that violence could be an acceptable way to solve problems. Eventually, this lack of supervision led to a harmful incident, one that could have been prevented with proper care, guidance, and awareness. The lesson from this event is clear. While violent games and media content can have a strong impact on young people, careful monitoring, open communication, and guidance from parents, teachers, and friends can help prevent serious consequences. A tragic incident occurred at the Beautyland Hotel, which serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of extreme violent behavior. In this case, a serious crime was committed by a young individual, resulting in the death of another person. The details of the crime are extremely disturbing, and sharing graphic descriptions would be inappropriate and unsafe. What is important to focus on is the lesson for society, parents, and young people. Exposure to violent media, games, or online content without guidance can influence vulnerable minds in harmful ways. Early intervention, proper supervision, and open communication about the content young people encounter are critical in preventing tragic outcomes. This incident highlights the importance of monitoring media and online content consumption by teenagers. Teaching young people the difference between fiction and reality. Encouraging discussions about emotions, conflict resolution, and the consequences of violence. By framing such events in a non-graphic, educational way, we can raise awareness while respecting ethical and legal boundaries for content shared online. On October 8, the teenager involved in the previous tragic incident was taken into custody by law enforcement. During interviews, it became clear that the young individual had developed a strong obsession with violent games and graphic media content. This case highlights the potential dangers of excessive exposure to violent or disturbing media at a young age. It serves as a reminder to parents, educators, and society at large that supervision, guidance, and open communication are essential to help young people navigate media responsibly. Key lessons from this situation include monitoring the amount of time teenagers spend on games or violent media. Discussing the difference between fictional content and real-life consequences. Providing support to address emotional or psychological issues that may arise from overexposure. By focusing on prevention, awareness, and education, we can help reduce the risk of harmful behavior in the future without sharing graphic details that could be disturbing or unsafe. Parental responsibility for children's emotional safety in the digital age. In today's rapidly evolving world, technology has become an inseparable part of daily life. Smartphones, computers, and the Internet offer unprecedented access to information, communication, and entertainment. While these tools provide countless opportunities for learning and personal growth, they also carry risks, especially for young people. Children and teenagers are particularly vulnerable to content that may be violent, graphic, or psychologically disturbing. Exposure to such content, without proper guidance and support, can have long-lasting effects on their emotional and behavioral development. Parents have a crucial role to play in ensuring their children's emotional safety in this digital landscape. First and foremost, parents should not overlook or dismiss the content their children are exposed to. Even if a child appears unaffected by violent games, graphic media, or distressing online material, the underlying impact may still be significant. Children may develop anxiety, fear, or unhealthy attitudes toward conflict and problem-solving without overt signs of distress. By maintaining awareness of what children are watching, playing, or reading, parents can identify potential issues early and intervene before negative patterns become entrenched. Monitoring does not mean restricting every single activity or imposing constant surveillance. It is about creating a supportive and informed environment where children feel safe discussing their experiences and emotions. Parents should observe not only the quantity of media consumption but also the quality of content. Violent video games, aggressive movies, and graphic social media posts can desensitize children to real-world consequences and may foster distorted perceptions of problem-solving and interpersonal interactions. Open conversations about these topics help children distinguish between fantasy and reality, and encourage them to critically reflect on what they encounter online. Additionally, children benefit from active parental engagement rather than passive observation. This means participating in shared activities, such as watching educational programs together, discussing the plot and characters of games or shows, or playing games alongside children to understand their experiences. Through such interactions, parents can model positive decision-making, empathy, and healthy coping strategies. Children learn by example, and seeing parents navigate media thoughtfully encourages them to do the same. Creating a warm and nurturing home environment is equally important. Children who feel emotionally supported and valued at home are more likely to communicate openly about any disturbing or confusing content they encounter. Parents should encourage their children to express feelings of fear, anger, or confusion, and respond with empathy rather than judgment. This approach strengthens trust and reduces the likelihood that children will internalize harmful emotions or imitate negative behaviors seen online. Furthermore, parents must remain vigilant without being overbearing. It is essential to strike a balance between supervision and autonomy. Overly strict restrictions can foster secrecy and rebellion, while insufficient oversight may leave children vulnerable to harmful influences. Setting reasonable boundaries, encouraging healthy hobbies and social interactions, and maintaining ongoing discussions about media content provide a framework that guides children safely through a digital world. Parents also have a responsibility to educate themselves about the platforms, games, and media their children interact with. Staying informed about age ratings, content warnings, and online trends equips parents to anticipate potential risks and address them proactively. When parents are knowledgeable and involved, children feel supported rather than controlled, and are more likely to develop self-regulation skills and sound judgment in navigating media. In conclusion, the emotional well-being and safety of children in the digital age require active and consistent parental involvement. Parents must observe, guide, and engage with their children, ensuring that exposure to media does not compromise psychological development. By creating a warm, supportive, and vigilant environment, parents provide children with the tools to critically evaluate content, distinguish reality from fiction, and cope with challenging emotions. This continuous guidance fosters resilience, empathy, and responsible media consumption, helping children grow into thoughtful, emotionally healthy adults. The decline of compassion in the age of technological advancement. In recent decades, technological advancement has transformed almost every aspect of human life. Smartphones, social media, artificial intelligence, and other innovations have created a world in which information is readily accessible, communication is instantaneous, and convenience is at an all-time high. People can work, learn, and socialize from virtually anywhere, and tasks that once took hours can now be completed in minutes. These developments have undoubtedly improved productivity, knowledge sharing, and global connectivity. However, alongside these benefits, there is a growing concern: the decline of human compassion. Despite living in a hyper-connected world, many individuals seem increasingly indifferent to the suffering, struggles, and emotions of others. Daily exposure to screens, notifications, and endless streams of content often prioritizes speed, efficiency, and personal gratification over empathy and meaningful interpersonal connection. The ease of digital interaction may inadvertently reduce the depth of emotional engagement and diminish the human capacity to genuinely care for others. Social media platforms, while connecting people across continents, often promote selective attention to others' lives rather than authentic understanding. Users may scroll past posts depicting pain, injustice, or hardship without reflection or action, treating these events as distant entertainment rather than real human experiences. In addition, online anonymity and digital detachment can encourage cruelty, harsh criticism, and lack of accountability, behaviors that would be less likely in face-to-face interactions. Over time, these patterns can normalize indifference, creating a culture where human suffering is ignored or minimized. Another contributing factor is the growing reliance on technology for daily interactions. Text messages, emojis, and short video clips have replaced long conversations, handwritten letters, and direct eye contact. While efficient, these substitutes often lack the nuance, emotional depth, and empathy that come from direct human engagement. Children and teenagers growing up in such environments may learn to communicate superficially, prioritizing convenience over compassion, and may struggle to respond empathetically to the needs and feelings of others. The rapid pace of life facilitated by technology also reduces opportunities for reflection, patience, and understanding. People are constantly bombarded with information, obligations, and distractions, leaving less time to observe, listen, and empathize with those around them. Acts of kindness, volunteering, and personal connection may take a backseat to digital interactions that provide instant gratification but limited emotional reward. In some cases, individuals may even experience empathy fatigue, feeling overwhelmed by the sheer volume of global suffering presented online and retreating into emotional detachment as a coping mechanism. Despite these challenges, the decline of compassion is not inevitable. Humans are inherently capable of empathy, care, and moral concern, and these qualities can be nurtured even in a technologically advanced society. Parents, educators, and community leaders play a vital role in fostering compassion by modeling empathetic behavior, encouraging active listening, and providing opportunities for direct human engagement. Schools and organizations can integrate service learning, community projects, and cooperative activities that require collaboration and understanding of others' perspectives. Technology itself can also be used positively. Platforms can highlight acts of kindness, promote charitable causes, and encourage meaningful dialogue rather than passive scrolling. Developing compassion in the digital age requires intentional effort. Families can create screen-free times to prioritize face-to-face conversation, shared meals, and personal reflection. Individuals can practice mindfulness, pause to consider the emotions of others, and consciously choose to respond with empathy when confronted with suffering. Encouraging storytelling, reading literature, or engaging in cultural and humanitarian activities can further enhance emotional intelligence and reinforce the importance of human connection. Ultimately, technological progress need not come at the expense of human compassion. By cultivating awareness, empathy, and moral responsibility alongside the use of modern tools, society can benefit from innovation without losing its humanity. The challenge of the 21st century is to ensure that technological convenience and connectivity enhance rather than diminish the capacity to care, understand, and act for the well-being of others. Compassion, when nurtured thoughtfully, can remain a guiding force in a world dominated by screens, algorithms, and rapid information flow. In conclusion, while technology has reshaped the way humans live, communicate, and work, it also presents challenges to the cultivation of empathy and compassion. To counteract these effects, individuals and communities must consciously prioritize emotional engagement, understanding, and care for others. The preservation of human compassion is not only a moral imperative but also a social necessity, ensuring that, even in a fast-paced, digitally driven world, people continue to value, protect, and support one another.